I've always felt different. I've always seen things, but when I tried to express them as a child, I was always told to ignore it.
There were people that I didn't know that came to me and said, I have this message that I keep getting that I have to deliver to you.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, a homeless man just jumped right in front of me. And he said, I'm a soul just like you.
I love it.
I wanted to understand the universe and who and what we are and what are we doing here.
We're all part of this amazing soul wave tapping into each other.
This was a major life changer.
You are a light. You have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You've given me the courage to live more from my soul.
Millions of people are awakening. So wake up with Michele, the place to hear the best-selling authors and experts in the fields of cutting-edge self-help, personal growth, metaphysics, and spirituality. The soul path of awakening. Understand what living awake is.
Hello, Radiant Soul Lights. Welcome back to Awakenings with Michele. This is the live stream. And for those of you that are new, welcome. Hi, Michele. So lots going on. Want to hear from all of you. So as you get settled in, get in the chat. You can also call in or click the link and get live and ask a question, get a reading, share some of your own insights and what's going on with you. I'd love to hear from you. This is your podcast, your live stream. It's the community's live stream. So yes, if you feel a pull, a soul call, do call in and share what you've been going through. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. So a couple things. First off, let me just say, if you're new here, please subscribe, share the streams, the episodes, or go to the share the podcast, because I do a little editing in there. Not much. I just throw up an intro and an outro that Diva Danielle, amazing DJ and editor, had done a while with all of you, with you. Walter is in there, Owen, I think, other people. Anyway, I love the intro and outro. And then one of our Awakenings listeners and part of the Soul Path community did the outro. And I still love it, love it, love it. It just, every time I hear it, it makes me, I think I'm in there too. It just makes my heart tingle. Just makes me just feel warm all over. People using their gifts, their voice. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, please share and also subscribe on YouTube. I'm starting to put not just the archives, we're doing lives. I did do a short. I uploaded a video there the other day. And speaking of Awakenings with Michele podcast on YouTube, we are going to do a live. I've been wanting to do a live. I wanted to do a panel, and I was like thinking, okay, who am I going to have on? I'm still going to have some of the people on that I wanted to. But because this 3I-Atlas is coming in so strong for me, I've done videos and I've received I'm calling them telepathic Soma or Soma Telepathic transmissions with this amazing interstellar beingness or just beingness. It's a frequency of consciousness. And oh, I love that. Who put that in the chat? Hi, soul travelers. Who put that in? Maru. Hello, soul traveler. Yes. That's what I have on my website. I love this. You guys, we're all connecting. We're getting together and connecting again. Hello, soul traveler. Yes. That is, that's what we're doing here. We've been traveling, and now you got to have rest spots too. You got to have places to hang out. And that's what this is. And I want to have more hangouts. I'm a big hangout person. Even when I go to events or, clubs for dancing, I always look if they have a lounge. I'm like, oh my God, I can just kick back, listen to the music, have some chats with people, philosophical chats. Anyway, I digress. So again, this Friday, we are going to do actually a couple events. Let's talk about this Friday. And then also I want to talk about something else that's going to be happening. But this Friday, I think we're going to do it around 1 p.m. I have to re-listen to Grace's audio note. Now, some of you know Grace O. I've done, she's been on the podcast a few times. She actually was when we were on Blog Talk Radio. So she was on there. And then once or twice on the live stream when we were on Podbean. And she's amazing. She's does amazing transmission work, and she's amazing with sound and frequency and tone and healing through that. She's also amazing cranial sacral healer, and she does other things. She also does healing work through food. She works with a company that does that individually in groups and things like catering and that kind of thing. But she really works with that frequency of nourishment, but also through expansion. Okay. And so she's a bit of an activator. And then her partner, her husband, Nelson, is a great musician, also expanded consciousness. I do believe he also plays, the actor Andy Garcia is a relative of his, and they play in a ensemble band. And every now and then he joins in. But he's a musician, so he understands chords and notes and frequency. And he was on. That's worth a listen to his. He was just on a few months ago on Podbean, so you can listen to the podcast here or wherever on all podcast platforms. And so he knows a lot, and also he's very spirit, she's soul tuned in, dialed in, and so he has an understanding of music, chords, and notes. And I think I had said I've been uploading. Oh, you're so happy you're going to call in. Who is that? Who is that in the chat? Let me see. Who is it? Who is it? Who's in the chat saying that to me? Okay, I can't click on, but whoever it is, try it. Oh, Walter. Hello, Walter. I was hearing your voice, and I love it. That intro and outro, I'm telling you, maybe that has to be played when I cross over. Play that for me. It just tickles my heart. Actually, I get teary sometimes just hearing it. But anyway, so we are going to do live. So subscribe so you'll know. Awakenings with Michele Michele podcast on YouTube. It's so funny. When I started this Awakening and Awakenings, no one was talking about this. I think there was one magazine in Orange County, California, somewhere. I don't know the exact city, but somewhere in Orange County, that had an Awakenings magazine. Now everybody's awakening with this, awakening. I guess Deepak's doing a book, Awaken. I can say I came in first, my guides. I don't know. We're at the cutting edge. I'm humbly thankful. Even the information on the music that I've been getting with 3I-Atlas, and also the information I got about the pandemic in 2017, and got the whole, where we're going. I got everything. I just feel, guys, and I talk about this a lot, I know, but it still astounds me. Like, I'm not seeking, I'm not pushing and seeking out there to like name in lights. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But I'm not seeking that, and so sometimes it just trips me out, the information that I have or that I know. Now I'm a bit more committed to getting it out more. I always have shared my information. I may have not always done videos, but I've always shared it with people that I work with, whether individually, workshops, seminars, retreats, or individual sessions, or friends. So I got was it Walter? I got the deet, no, or Senray. I got the deets. So I feel like as I'm coming out more, some people might say, well, where's the video on that? Well, the videos got taken down by YouTube. But the thing is, most importantly, forget about the videos or being on YouTube. I've got the people that say, yeah, Michele was accurate. What she channeled was accurate. What she channeled about the pandemic was accurate. I mean, I got so excited and tickled that I helped people not go under, because I told by 2020, I said, you got to be online. You're not going to be able to work, in the office or in the hospital. Your business is going to be cut. You've got to get an online component. So, and that is because I am this intermediary, because all of you are meant to thrive through these changes, this transition, which could have some challenges and difficulties. What doesn't? For God's sake, even if you go on a diet or decide to better something in your life, there's changes and challenges. But that's the frequency I'm working on, and that's the frequency I'm opening up to, and that's the frequency that I want to connect with more with people. I really want to help people with what I know and what I channel. And it's given me a very strong faith. I'll be honest, my faith hasn't always been strong. Even with the gifts that I have, I've been wiggly or in doubt or fear about stuff. Now, because everything I have ever channeled, which I've received, everything has come to pass, whether it's individually for clients or collectively. And most astounding, the collective. Every vision I've had, every message from God, the guides, the oversouls, the spiritual hierarchy, everything has been accurate. So I feel like finally I relax. I know that sounds odd, like, Michele, you have these gifts, but no, I have these gifts, but still, so much of it was for other people, the accuracy. But when you channel something so long ago that happens and happens exactly, even from in 2017, my guides told me in the vision, because I asked where, they said there's going to be a pandemic and this virus is released and it's going to be to check to see who survives, who makes it. They're testing things on the people. And I'm like, who, where? And they said, a lab. It's going to come from a lab. And your United States is involved as well as other countries. That's what I was told. That's why my YouTube channel, I got those videos taken down, because I posted it on YouTube early on. Once I saw what was happening in 2020, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I channeled in 2017. And it was like 4 days of vision. So it was a lot of information. I did audio note on it, but so some of it I redid and transcribed to video. But when I saw that what was happening, I posted it on YouTube, 2 videos, and got taken down. Now, all these years later, guess what? From a lab, everything that I channeled came through. So I think sometimes this is just so that I trust and believe and can relate. Now I feel like I can do my mission, my duty, my purpose, what inspires me and motivates me even stronger. And I'm more inspired. I'm more and motivated too. I know motivation can wane, and so can inspiration. I think determination and follow through has to connect in, or due diligence. But I've been getting a lot of DMs and also comments on my Soul Insights and Tarot on YouTube, that channel. Now I feel inspired to do this or that. Now I feel motivated. Now I'm going to keep going. And I'm like, okay, if that's really what I'm here to do, or help you get out of the way of the blocks, then so be it. I'm so grateful for that. I am so inspired, and I'm so motivated to also go on and do what I need to do, despite anything that happens with relationship or health or wellness or ups and downs, depression, whatever. It's like, it's kind of like a humble appreciation and a gratitude. Like, wait a minute. This is pause, everyone. Let's put the pause on. This is a very important part of life and history that we're all a part of. It's like, oh, well, wait a minute. This is very interesting. And we have an integral part in it. So excited. So anyway, if you're feeling a resonance about this, please, subscribe, share massively. I'm telling you, I never asked for much or not really anything. But anyway, share this, share the podcast. And this Friday, whatever that is that the 23rd, 24th, whatever day that is. Let me see this Friday, we're going to do a live. We're just going to throw it out there, 24th, and play around and connect into 3I-Atlas, talk about the frequency, the music, how you can do all the things. Is that Zoe from Bali? Hello, Zoe. Is that you? Finally, I know it's early there. How come I'm not able to chat? Sometimes I can't. The clicker doesn't work to click on. Hi, Zoe. Big hug. Hey, Sunray is here. Soul fams. Let's see. Yes, I remember who's that saying that. Walter, 3 years ago, I talked about the planes. Yes, the planes top. I remember you told about the planes. Now, which yeah. Oh my God, so true. It is soul remembrance. Yes, so true in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, a Friday hang. I don't it'll either be 1 or 2 p.m. Pacific time. And yeah, we just have to do this. I'm like a month late. The guides kept saying, get on YouTube, play around, play around. That way people can call in, ask questions, whatever, or be in the chat at least. I love that. Oh, can you describe the difference between live on YouTube and live on Podbean? Yeah, YouTube will be video. So you'll still be the chat. I'm going to see if I can link the Podbean to the, I'm always kind of with the flow. I've got a very full schedule of things. So I'm just going to try the next couple days to see if I can do also Rumble, Podbean, YouTube, anything else. That's it for now. Later, we'll do multiple streams, but I don't know if I can do it on Zoom or I have to get StreamYard or something like that. There's another app that I haven't checked out that can handle that. And Nelson and Grace are going to do some stuff with sound for that too, because remember I was saying 3I-Atlas was telling me that, transmitting to me, telling me that the information that's coming through, there will be a lot. By the way, I did like 7 transmissions with them. I'm going to be uploading first to Patreon, the free version. So just sign up, guys. There's a free version. I'm putting them on there first because I'm getting a lot of connection and interaction with people asking questions. And then I'm going to put on Awakenings with Michele Michele podcast. I put a new playlist, Soul to Soul, where I've been getting transmissions the last 3-4 months. I just need to upload. If anybody wants to help me with that, that would be great. Because sometimes I'm doing stuff late at night, 10, 11, 12, 1 a.m. or early, 3 to 4 a.m. I wake up. But anyway, I'm going to start putting that in, and Soul Bites, which I had on my old channel, my old Soul Insights and Tarot channel. I never really thought I would be on you. I mean, my channel has been up since 2007, 2008. That's now called Soul Insights and Tarot. But I never really I just used it as a placeholder. Like when I would do workshops, I would just upload like it's like a Dropbox. I kind of used it as a Dropbox. I uploaded some meditations. There's a playlist, I think, Soul Bites, some of my demo reels from acting, commercial stuff, whatever, the oracles, that TV pilot that I did. I just uploaded here and there. It was a placeholder, which is a good thing to know. A lot of times on the soul path, we get these placeholders that's like, I'm not going to do anything with it. Or I took this URL out. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with this domain name. Oh, whatever. But that's a message from your higher self. That's coming from your soul. And maybe even our guest that's coming on later, Seth Stewart, author of Follow Your Vision, Live Your Truth, which is interesting. We'll share a bit with him because a similar background. I'm starting to meet more people that had, similar to me, had a successful, entertainment, acting, modeling, whatever background, and now they got zoomed into this type of work. So interested to talk to him. But anyway, those are kind of little breadcrumbs, and we get those to show us. Oh, great, Walter. Try to call in. Yeah, just call in. Even while I'm chatting, you can mute yourself. But we get these transmission. How can I more clearly ask whom is coming through? So much download. Call in. Be a little more succinct. What does that mean? Let's see. Hi, Windy City, Windy Cindy, Isabella, Teresa, hello. Hello, Soul Path travelers. Good to see you all. Yeah, this is the time of opening more. And as I teach, if you get alignment meditation on my website. It's free to download. Teaches you how to shift in consciousness. That's also what I teach. Some of you have done my workshops and courses on strengthening your intuition, connecting and strengthening your intuition, becoming more psychic, and opening to channel. It's a frequency, it's a vibration that you can do, and you can do it in seconds. Once you practice, it may take longer in the beginning, where you're kind of like, doing breath work and kind of fumbling around, and then you kind of shift. Yes, all of that's a beginning, but what I do now is I just kind of connect in, and I'm transfixed. Boom, there's that frequency. We have our own portal within our cosmic ecosystem through our auric field into our etheric field, the resonant field of consciousness. We have our own portal. So it's 3D, it's spherical, but one of the easiest ones to access is above the crown chakra. It's above the 8th chakra, the 9th chakra, which is the ascension point. And ascension just means expanding out of the extremes of duality. When you ascend, you get into that undifferentiated energy, less diluted, right? There's no left or right. It's just like a swirl of energy, left and the right together, right and left, it's all one, in, out, black, white. It's just, shoo. So yeah, once you do that cut, I just started talking about doing that, and now my crown chakra is tingling. So when you get into that oneness, it's a vibrational frequency shift that changes your consciousness from the beta, lower mind, ego consciousness into the expanding. Who's saying this now? Who did this? Walter. I love the opening to channel. That's where I had my breakthrough. I didn't know that. That was such an experience. So glad I took that class. It was an amazing experience. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. The class that I taught was opening to channel, but what I do, because not everybody is meant to channel, or what I know a lot of people say, oh, we're all channeling. Yeah, in a way, like when you're doing art or creativity, or we are these channels, we're conduits to the all that is, or infinite creative intelligence, or God conscious, whatever you want to call it, to some degree. But I'm talking about channeling higher frequency energy or healing energy. It's an intentional vibrational frequency shift with an intention, whether it's to receive information. So I teach some courses or classes. I'm going to do something next, probably January, February for sure, that I will be integrating more of that, which is preparing for this, connecting more to the new emerging consciousness and living from the soul, and connecting to your soul's purpose, your mission, and creating a life based on that. So I'm going to be weaving a lot of different courses and classes that I did: soul entrepreneurship, synergy, soul-centered living, and then this opening to channel. I'm going to weave it together and bring in other people as well, experts, to really help everyone get the tools. I'm all about the tools and anchor in. So I teach, how do you become more intuitive? Sixth sense. Everyone has a sixth sense. Everyone's intuitive. It's how do you listen to it, respond from it, reinforce it. Not everyone is psychic, but I teach that. So intuition, psychic ability, and then the next step up is opening to channel, and also becoming more telepathic, or how to remote view. All of those I do. So that's what I taught in one of the classes that I did. So that's what Walter's talking about. Love it, love it, love it. Open for class. Let's see. Yeah, well, the intensity of the body, I mean, totally understand it. I had that, those of you that listen to the transmissions I received with 3I-Atlas, it was extremely intense. In fact, 2 days later, I had these, or the next day, I had this like intense pressure on my head and energy, and that can happen when we're adjusting to the frequency shift, right? It's kind of like working out. When you haven't worked out a certain muscle, or you haven't worked out in a while, or you're learning a new whatever. I used to be a dancer, and you learn certain choreography different from a different person that does different movements, and you're like, oh, I'm sore there, I'm tight there. So the same thing when you're channeling higher vibrational frequency energy, it can just, sometimes it shows where the blocks are, but sometimes it's like, wow, you're just using a different muscle, or you're having, like doing squats. Maybe you used to do 10 squats and now you do 20. You're going to feel something, but that will work itself out. So yeah, I had a day and a half of that. It was very intense, but now that energy, I just am seamlessly connecting to that frequency. And that was one of the things 3I-Atlas was saying. It's a frequency. That beingness, interstellar beingness, however you want to describe it, is a consciousness. But the thing is, everything is consciousness, but there's different frequencies to consciousness, just like there's different harmonics. Okay. So there's different octaves, there's layers and levels, just like dimensions. Dimensions are separated through frequency. And that frequency has a certain vibration or oscillation to it. So I go into this a lot. I'm going to post, I might just post all of the audio notes, like I did on Patreon, all kind of all at once, between today and Friday, so that you guys have it. The key to connecting, because one of the questions I got, what's the key to connecting, is through feeling. It's somatic. It's the energy in motion. It's your emotions that link you in, that connect you in. Hey, Walter. I'm enjoying this frequency. I'm telling you, it's a happy.
I love it.
It's like a happy pill, a dopamine. For me not to break out in song. I don't know. Maybe it's a vibration, also frequent. Seth Stewart coming on, who was also in Hamilton, and I don't know what else on Broadway. Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I am. Listen, I this whole 3I-Atlas, I didn't even know what it was. Sunray in the chat knew about it, asked me. I don't know. A couple weeks later, I see it written, and I'm in it. I'm like, oh my God, this and that. And I'm like, it's a thing. It's a real thing.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So sometimes the best is when you don't know what something is, you connect, have the experience, and it's very genuine. It's like, and now some of the stuff that I've channeled from them, I don't know, them, they, whatever, all of it, consciousness, interstellar, whatever you want to call it. Apparently, according to Sunray in the chat and some other people that have DM'd me, some other people have had similar experiences. So I feel, with the emotions, the heart energy, I had a lot of grief and crying and just opening. It was just,
oh
right?
My God, yes.
Yeah.
Wow, this so aligns with what I'm calling you for.
Oh, are you? Tell me, Walter.
Wow.
Tell me.
Just, I've just been feeling this, I don't know, just like this chest area open with love and acceptance, and it's just something is just going, something is coming, or something is here. I've just been feeling it for like the last 3 weeks, and it's just, I just want to know, like, what is it? Well, clearly it's something because you just confirmed it, but wow, like, is this going to stay this way? Are we all going to be feeling this way?
Yeah.
Is this the new wave? Because I'm all for it.
Yeah. Did it? Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, one of the things I was told by 3I-Atlas is this energy, this frequency counterbalances what is going on in the mainstream world or mainstream consciousness.
Okay.
So everything has, we talk about projection, perception, everything on the universe has, and on the earth plane has a counterpoint or a balancing point. When something tips one way, even the great positive, euphoric, if it tips too much, this is why the Buddhists call it the middle way, then the doubt, the negative, whatever, the fear comes up, right? Because we're living throughout this duality or polarity. It's tipped too far. Now, what I will tell you, even any phenomenon, any planet, any person, it doesn't matter. That's not the original source. 3I-Atlas is not the source of this. It's also a conduit from infinite creative source energies or God consciousness, or the all that is. See where I'm going?
Yes, yes.
So a lot of people think, oh, Venus made me do this, or this planet. Yes, they're a quality and a frequency of a particular type of energy, but there still is an infinite consciousness and awareness that goes beyond the phenomena that we're connecting in with, right? So
Okay.
I started feeling, I was talking about, and also we're numerology wise, we're in a 45-9. So it's a transition year. It's an ending, a cycle, and bridging into the new of what's coming in. Now, all of that also happens not just mentally, emotionally, or from a beliefs or mental constructs or our own concepts. It happens also vibrationally, energetically, right? It's a
Yes.
frequency shift. So I I was predicting like in July, we're going to have this amazing energy come in, a frequency shift that's creating this pivot. There's a pivoting that's happening for a turning point. And a lot of people started feeling grief, including myself. And I'm like, that's part of the 45-9 cycle. And it's also this new energy coming in on the soul saying, grieve it, wrap it up, your anger, your feeling of betrayal of yourself, disappointments, other people. We have to come to terms. And if you notice, there was, yes, so there also the whole idea on the mainstream world or mainstream consciousness of war, or, worrying about what's happening to babies getting, in the war, what's going on
Right.
with this. So we're opening up more to that and feeling all. It's not that it wasn't always happening. It's just because we now have this interconnection through social media and the internet. We're more conscious and aware, and we're more feeling of this. So all of this grief has to come up. Now, we're in a transmutation process. This energy is transmuting. And so this 3I-Atlas is here to help us do this. And it's beaming us, not just with consciousness, it's a frequency, a different harmonic of consciousness. The frequency and vibration of 3I-Atlas is feeling, is emotion. And what comes up is love. It's the love of, it's the love of when you love a person, or you love your daughter, your son, you love them, but they're doing something you don't like and you have to reprimand them. It's the love of disappointment, but I love you. It's the love of healing from betrayal and disappointment. It's the love of interconnectedness. It's a love of self-acceptance, self-understanding. It's the love of merging. It's love of right action and right livelihood. It's love of being on the earth and appreciating the experience, the good. So that's why it's so emotional, is because it's really this higher, more expanded presentation, if you will, of love. It's a higher harmonic of this love, and so we're opening up to it. So it's kind of cracking us open.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Wow. Oh, it makes so much sense. And I'm all here for it. I just love the way it's making me feel and bringing things to the surface for me.
Beautiful.
Thank you so
Beautiful.
much. Wow. See. Wow. I knew I had to call you. Thank you so
I'm so glad you did. Yeah. And the thing is, I always say that you get your confirmations of something, especially when you open, and I guess that's part of my path as the conduit or channel, is a lot of the experience I've had experiences first, and then later the confirmation. And so
Right.
in a way, we're being asked to move more into trust in our own higher self, our soul, and in the spirit realm, what is unseen but not yet understood. And that's also astrologically, that is also,
Hello.
Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune in Aries, as well, and grounding that. So anyway, Walter, it feels like old times, like back on the old
Yes, it
platform.
does.
It is so great to connect with you. Thank you so much for calling in and
Oh, you're very welcome.
expanding the frequency.
Yes, yes. So much love to you. Big hug, Michelle.
Big hug. Lots of love and
Mm.
light. Hi, Jody in the chat. Welcome. Welcome, everyone that's joining us. If you have questions, you can put it in the chat. I think we're on with Seth. Hello, Seth. Oops, I think you muted. Let's see. Seth, you're live. Oh, you might have to call back in. Anyway, we are getting live on this stream with Seth Stewart, author of Follow Your Vision, Live Your Truth. Seth has an interesting background. I want to talk to him about that because we have some little crossover here. But Seth has been singer, dancer, actor, musical performer, theatrical performer, performed with Madonna, Jennifer Lopez, performed on Broadway in The Heights, as well as Hamilton and other productions. And now he has moved in, I believe for the last 20 or so years, into working spiritually and also working as a spiritual guide. Seth, welcome. Great to connect. Whoops. I'm not hearing you. In the chat, do you hear Seth? Okay, I hear someone. Let's see. Let's see. No, he's muted. Seth, either you have to unmute. He's muted. He's typing. Okay. Yeah, Seth, go ahead and if you can't figure out how to, someone told me, Sunray, before you hung up. Okay, he's muted. He is unmuted. He was just typing. Okay, Seth, you're on air, but people can't hear you. Maybe call back in, Seth, if you can hear me. Oh, there you are. Hello. Welcome. Hello. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you. You don't hear me, Seth. The chat can hear me, but we can't hear you. Or I can hear you, but you can't hear me. Sunray, can you hear me? You hear me. Okay. Seth, figure like maybe call back in because we can hear you. Audio is on his end. We can hear Seth. We can hear you in the background. Okay, I'm going to hang him up and have him call back in. Call back in, Seth. Okay, we can hear him. We can hear you in the background doing stuff, but let's see. Seth?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yay!
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Listen, there's so many energetic shifts right now. Someone texted me about this solar flare. Let's use that. That's the excuse for the technology.
Is it a new moon tonight?
No, that was, I believe, yesterday, wasn't it?
Yesterday? Okay, we're still in the
21st. We're still in the vibe of it. Yep.
Still in the vibe. Well, hello.
Hello. It's
blessings.
Blessings to you. It's great to connect with you. And definitely want to get a bit of your background. I was telling the chat earlier, I'm amazed how many people, because I had a successful career in entertainment, modeling and acting, traveled around the world, and all of a sudden, ping, even though I was intuitive and psychic growing up, I did a little bit of that, but all of a sudden my whole world shifted and I become this channel and go in this whole other direction, hypnotherapy, on and on. So curious for you, the ping for you, because obviously, you were, performing, acting and doing Broadway and such. Was this a conscious choice to make this pivot, or how did it happen? Very curious.
Yeah, all my pings were to go back to nature or to go back to Mother Earth.
Ah, okay.
So, which I'm really grateful for after being on my spiritual journey for feels like forever. I mean, I've been a seeker heavy since I was 18 years old. I was practicing astral travel from 18 to 20.
Okay, so had the background. That's what I was wondering. Me as well, since about 11, 12, 14. Now, when you say you're pinged to go back to nature, just so it kind of explain it for us, paint a picture. So you're acting, you're doing your thing. Are you going to nature to hang out or commune? Are you doing things with your connection to spirit or spirituality? Was that part of your life, or did this ping awaken you to that, or did it just become more and more prominent for you, or more highlighted?
Yeah, so I had been touring with recording artists after and I have been doing Broadway shows. So after my second Broadway show, um, I started hiking and camping more, and I realized as a man, I didn't know how to take care of myself out in nature. But I realized I had a lot of peace. Like, there's two places for me where I have peace and I experience magic: on the stage or in nature, um,
Mm.
or around really good friends.
Hmm.
But it tends to be with those friends in nature. So all that to be said, um, I wanted to get closer to Mother Earth because I could begin to hear her speak to me. I was doing sweat lodges back in '08, '09, um, 2008, 2009, and I was starting to hear her voice very clearly, very quickly. And and then I went and lived in the forest and worked at a prenatal skills
Mm.
school for 6
At
months
what
back in
school?
2012.
What school? Because your audio's a little wiggly, a little in and out. I didn't get the last part. You went to some kind of school or do something? What was it?
Yeah, I worked at the Tom Brown Tracker School. It teaches primitive skills
Oh,
and
yes,
primitive velocity.
tracking. Oh, very
Yeah,
cool. Okay.
yeah. Um, and ever since that time, it was a major awakening, not only with the earth, but the spiritual activity that had always been around me. But I finally was having a chance to learn how to discern it, communicate with these different spirits and multidimensional spirits.
Mm. Woo, loving this, Seth. Loving this, loving this. So let me ask you, growing up, and I say this because we get a lot of listeners, a wide range, but most people consciously on a path, and having certain experiences. But we also get quite a lot of people, and of the last few years, I'll tell you, probably, I don't know, five years or so, people leaving the corporate world, all getting the ping, like they don't know why, and they start doing different things and connecting spiritually. So it's kind of wide range. And so I want to dive into your story a bit before we tie into your most recent awakening in the book and what you're doing now. Is how do people to follow this? Because some people get those pings or a nudge or an inspiration. Maybe I should spend more time in nature, or I feel oneness, or I feel more peace, or I feel healed. But then they don't necessarily follow through. It might be too subtle. So were you involved in nature and communing and feeling this connection to nature earlier on in your life? Let's say
No,
at
I
a,
was not.
oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and so it's just going on hikes more by myself too. Um, when people talk on hikes, it drives me crazy because I'm trying to listen to other things that are going on out there. Um, but it was a progression over years. So
Mm.
a heavy deep dive from 18 years old to 21, I would say, was my deep dive in information, my rabbit hole. Um, when I went out and was working at the school, that was uh, 6, 7 years later. So I feel like I've had multiple awakenings.
Yeah, that's why this podcast is awakenings, because there's not just one.
Plural.
Yeah,
Exactly. I
exactly,
appreciate.
exactly.
You're going to have the major ones. And I had,
Mm.
so then I was doing Hamilton. That was the last show I did. Uh, and when I was backstage, I was in between numbers, and I already knew how to communicate with my higher self. And I knew that that was going to be my last Broadway show. And then I was going to have to travel and find my personal medicine.
Mm.
And medicine meaning, what do I have to offer to the world?
Mhm.
The vibration that I keep. And I did that after I left that show. I did that for 7 years. I've been to Peru too many times. I've done all the plant ceremonies. I've had all the contact. Um, and it all comes down to all the mini awakenings and huge blast through your whole beingness awakenings
Mhm.
only matter if we have integration back in our daily lives.
Yep, exactly.
And to answer
Everyone
your
listen to
question,
this. That's so true. The practicality, the in Integration. Yes. Oh my
It's
God.
the hardest
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Um,
And that
so
requires consistency, right? It doesn't just poof happen overnight.
in the experience you might be having, whether that's meditation or certain ceremonies, yeah, it happens overnight, but then it fades.
To
And
integrate takes
to
longer, right?
integrate, exactly. And so for people that are getting that pain or that subtle call, I would say you don't have to answer it, but you have no idea how much magic you're missing.
Mm,
And that seeking that your soul is doing will rumble and tumble in your beingness until you begin to answer that call. And your daily life will feel unsettled without answering that call. Now, once you answer that call to go to nature or go to do whatever you know you're being called to, just remember, give yourself time to return because there are going to be few people that understand your experience. And your experience is personal and it's not meant to be shared with everybody.
mm,
But the integration part that I have found to seem the hardest for myself and anybody else I know that's experienced it is what we also need to focus on. Awakening, then integration, then full embodiment as best as we can.
yeah. And I love that you're talking about this because that's been my of recent, like mantra and kind of, I don't know, like intentional push in a way with people I'm connecting with and working with, and is like, you've got to integrate. You got to integrate the tools. You got to use it. You got to use. It's like my sentiment is, back in the day, it was like, it was cool, it's fun. Okay, I did this retreat, or I went on this, did this sweat lodge, or
Hmm.
it was like tea and crumpets or cocktail part. Oh, I went here,
Right.
I went. No,
Isn't this
now
cute?
yeah, isn't this cute? Exactly. And it's like, now we have to live it. Now that brings us to a question in the chat for you. How do we integrate? I think the question is, maybe you could put the question
Our
in
body
with
and life?
our body and life, I guess. I don't know if it's embodying this, but it seems to relate to what you're talking about. How do we integrate this?
You just said it. You're given a new tool set, and you have to use those tool set kind of like your spiritual hygiene. So if you're given a tool to energetically shield, you're using it as often as you shower. If
Mhm.
you're given tools to, I don't know, cleanse your being, you
Right.
have to do it as often as you take a shower, which is at least once a day.
Yeah.
God, I hope people are showering more.
I know,
But
right?
but you know, let's talk about a major blast off. Oh my God, I've touched 12th dimensional consciousness and I am the path of Yeshua Magdalene. Okay, well, how do you integrate it on a daily basis? You just remember the embodiment. You're not here to prove anything to anyone. It's your own personal vibration and making sure that you're not getting pulled out from what society is doing. That
Mm,
is the daily integration. So how do we integrate? One, give yourself space. Be
mm,
aware that you're only going to be able to be in your own energy for a while. You're going to feel more isolated, but if you can't talk to people, go talk to the trees, go talk to the
mm,
birds, go pray to the water, and figure out how to stay in that highest vibration. And then when you can't, go back to your basic tools: gratitude, daily spiritual hygiene, daily spiritual protection, daily spiritual gratitude.
yeah. Wow. Sunray in the chat is saying, makes sense. We're at a time where we know what it feels like to put our hand on the hot stove. Yeah. How many? Yes, that's a very good point. We kind of know not what to do. And yeah, that I like that. That's so true. We got another question: how to stay grounded in the physical body. Yeah, I love that, because yeah, you really can't expand truly in consciousness and raise your frequency unless the grounding is it's earth. We're meant to embody the new emerging consciousness. It's not a heady thing. It's not a concept.
Right. Because we just broke through that glass ceiling. Like we had a time up until 2012, and then I believe 2012, 2017 was weird, but cool. And then 2017 to 2022 was a huge ascension cycle. And now we're facing a lot of overlays, all the artificial overlays that we have to contend with since 2022. And, as heady as we want to get, and as far as we want to extend out into dimensions, we're meant to anchor them here, which I think your audience probably already knows. But we have to remind
Well, we
ourselves.
have to remind. I still remind myself, like, hold on, Skippy. Just
Yeah,
you need to integrate or build a foundation now around. That's another thing to talk about. When you start shifting, your world is changing. Your concepts, your beliefs, the mental construct. You've got to build a foundation around now. What's the new routine that integrates my communing or spending time in nature or meditation or certain foods? Or I mean, it's holistic, I think, right?
I agree. And it's so exhausting sometimes. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's so exhausting
Yeah.
to just have to get good food. I mean, we do here at my home, which I'm really grateful for, you know, and it seems
Yeah.
exhausting, but the reason why I still do the
Oops.
work.
Seth, I want to hold that note. You're wiggling out, so the connection is not as strong. I don't know where
Oh, I'm
you're
sorry.
at. Yeah. Is there any way to adjust that? Because I love what you're sharing, and like it's
I
so.
just don't sit still. I'll sit still.
Oh, is it sitting? Oh, you're one of me.
I
I do
move
the
a lot.
same. I move. I
Don't.
walk around. Yes. Okay. So yeah, it's wiggling in and out, and some people mentioned it, and I really want to hear what you're sharing with us. So
Yes. So in this time, it's going to be a lot of what seems like hard work to detoxify our body, our spirit, eat the right foods, stay on top of all of this. But the truth is, we don't have any other choice.
mm,
We don't have any other choice but to take care of ourselves and embody and vibrate at our highest. Otherwise, we're going to fall into the ocean
yeah,
of societal chaos.
yeah, get
Like
pulled. I
when
think
I
that's the
pray,
biggest thing right now is not getting pulled into the extremes of the polarity, not getting caught in
correct.
some surface reality that's not the reality that's actually being co-created. By the way, it's like it's like
I agree.
yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, it's the arc, the idea of an arc, not even from a religious sense, or if you want to tie it into it, that's fine. But it's to create your own like ship, your own vessel, and to be able to ride the waves. Because there
Hmm.
is light on the other side. We just can't see it. We're in the middle of the ocean right now, metaphorically, with how things are changing. But there's also that arc that is a true connection to God, that there's a lot of static going through quantum spiritual, because there is a vying for our energy. And so when I say we don't have a choice, I mean, people do have a choice, but you're just swimming in the ocean. So it
Yeah.
makes more sense to take care of your
Well, and
vessel.
I would say yes and no, because things are moving. It's like someone saying, I still want to use my Trio or BlackBerry, or I'm going to use my typewriter and write you a letter and send it by the mail. And people are like, well, we kind of use email now, or WhatsApp or texting. I feel like you go with it, or life is going to get very narrow. I don't know. That's just my
Uh,
thought.
Yeah, I think so too. I just,
You like to give people the out just in case, the
yeah, I just
sovereignty.
want to
I
make
get,
sure
yeah,
that give reassurance. Like, I know it seems we're all in different parts of the country or different parts of the world, but we cannot give up on ourselves, and we cannot give up on whatever faith we have,
Yeah, I agree.
because
And
it
I
is
think
a.
it's
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was going to say because it is. Go ahead, finish your thought.
It's a the attunement is an antenna, is an anchor, and so we need as many positive polarity antennas, anchors of light as we can get.
Yeah. Wow. So to me, you're a bridger and a builder. You know, yeah. And talk let's more about that attunement, because I feel like now in this great gathering phase of the awakening, we're finding each other, or refinding, whatever phrase you want to put on it. But what you said, the attuning, that frequency, and it's like whatever we're speaking, whatever we're living, that's what we're transmitting or broadcasting, and then we're picking up as these transponders that we are, that attunement. I feel like that's what gets us on the different system, solar system, satellite
The
system
organic
of living.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
There is, for me, my personal opinion, there's an attunement because she's always gathering energy from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And, scientifically, the trees have a toroidal field of capturing it, regenerating it into the earth, bringing it back up. It's a regenerative system. And when we are barefoot, we're touching trees or grass, we're in that regenerative system. And it has
Mm-hmm.
cycles, but it's regenerative. And we are in I'm just making sure I say this without too much energy on it.
Okay.
We are in a major wave of artificial overlay.
Yeah. And you know what? I love that you say overlays. I call them overlays and templates. They're not the true design or matrix. They're
They're
not.
not.
Yeah.
When we're
Wow.
talking about attunement, when people are using certain apps, applications,
Mm-hmm.
when people are using these things, they do not realize they are becoming a proxy for an artificial system. So staying in,
Ooh.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, I'm trying not to get
Yeah.
gross.
No. Go there. We're there because I'm telling you, I've been saying the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I feel like this is something people have to listen to. Like, what are you lending? Not only your frequency, but your design too, and the energy of that distorts the soul signature frequency. And so
it,
we're kind of at a choice point, right?
yes, on a daily basis right now.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of tie into what you were saying, well, we don't use the typewriters anymore. True. But this new system, artificial system is coming in, I don't think a lot of people have the wherewithal to shield properly or know that a certain amount of usage ties into a larger system that is mimicking us to create its own, that is older than we realize.
Yes.
And the best way to combat that is to not give that system an energy source or less of an energy source, and to just attune with our organic selves, with the organic earth and the sun and God or great mystery, whatever you feel comfortable calling it. And
Yeah, it's
daily
almost like
attunement to that is the win.
yeah. And to me, it also seems that we do need to have the attunement with the community, with nature. That seems to be kind of a little bit of a panacea for a lot of different things now and on. I tell people sometimes, okay, just if you, like some people say, oh, I'm in the city in New York, I just have a deck. I'm like, okay, just buy some plants and put them in your house or
Right.
something if you can't get out. But it's interesting because I was channeling 3I-Atlas. It just kind of happened. That's a whole other topic. Didn't even know anything about it, whatever. But that interstellar being, this is what they called. I could not use my phone to video. They said I had to hold my arm out and could only do an audio note because of the frequency. And they were saying the devices are lowering our frequency, to your point.
Yes.
Now, they're not saying don't ever use them, but I really had to sit with that. And also what you're talking about, which I feel is so important right now. Wow, I'm so glad you brought this up. Because since we're all interconnected, I would say like Ethernet, internet, these are like baby, guardrails, or, to help prop us up to understand the interconnectedness. When we're stepping down our vibrational frequency by over connecting with things that are not the naturalist or organic or direct original, infinite source energy, God consciousness, we're in that overlay. We're in that frequency and vibration of the overlay.
I agree.
And we're right. And we're giving energy to that overlay through the auric field, etheric field, resonant fields, morphogenic fields, whatever you want to call all of it. That's what we're feeding. So what's your thoughts on that, Seth?
I do have some thoughts on that because I just spent, excuse me, it's not funny. I just spent the last hour and a half with some very close friends of mine about that. But I have a question. When you were saying you were tapping into the 3I, was that communication from them saying that?
Yeah.
The phones?
Everything, TV, phones, monitors. Yeah.
Right.
I started in the late 80s working with the spiritual hierarchy, which I knew nothing about, and then later find out about. And so I channeled like collective events like the pandemic, Berlin Wall going down, people. Anyway, a lot of stuff collectively and individually. I had no idea. We had have a listener, part of our community, Sunray, who we had cosmologists and physicists from the UK, Dr. Jude Curavan on. And so he'd asked in the chat, what's 3I-Atlas? I had never heard of it. She gave a little summarized, but not much. I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I'd been waking up at 4 a.m. with all this space and just doing other, whether communing, meditating, being outside or editing or whatever I was doing. And I was like wondering, why am I getting up? And I could feel this presence around me, but I didn't really attribute anything to it. Then one day I woke up early, did my meditation, went back to sleep. And then I got up like a ping and I thought, I'm going to start my day and I'm going to put on an astrology video. So I put YouTube on in the background, but I'm still laying in bed. I'm just getting up. I'm looking, who am I going to watch? And this woman came on and it said 3I-Atlas. I don't even remember the rest. And I just pinged into it. And all of a sudden this piercing energy came into me. I mean, piercing. I'm almost going to cry again. I felt all this emotion, all this love. This light was coming in. This energy just overwhelmed me. And I thought, and then I'm thinking, my Patreon people, I'm like, I should record this. What's going on? I was like, so I just got all this information on it. And then throughout the day, and I've had like 7 sessions with how they correspond to connect into them. And I'm not musical. So I had to call friends of mine and, I'm like, okay, they said that the note of C and key of G, which I guess corresponds to the root chakra and the throat, which makes sense to where we're at in the universe. Anyway, so I had this whole experience. And now, as I said at the top of this live stream, I don't think you were on yet, I don't feel planets, anything. They are a quality of energy coming through to assist or transmit, but they're not creating it. I think that's where a lot, in my humble opinion, I think a lot of people that do what we do, it's still coming from God. It's just coming in a form like a planet or numerology or astrology or tarot or you or me, or it's beyond that. So I feel like some people think that it's like, the sun's making me do this, or Venus does this, or Mercury retro. No, that's a particular consciousness, vibrational frequency. It's a beingness, but that's not God. That's not infinite source. It's a part of God.
It's a part.
Yes. So that's my understanding. What are your?
I agree.
What are your?
This
Yeah.
is such a wild lifetime, and I remember some of my other ones.
How
I'm
do they
just in such
compare, Seth? How do they
right.
compare? Like, how do they
Unfortunately, a
compare?
lot of infiltration. Unfortunately, here we go again.
Right.
Just to have to remember it all again. But I'm in agreement that these are a part, or different levels, or different teachers in a different grade, or in a higher ed, soul higher ed,
Mm-hmm.
that are having these experiences. And I surrender to the fact that from a creator great mystery perspective, having all these fractals of experiences, that it's happening in a lot shorter time span, like our millions of years, or maybe a week from creator perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And having gone to source, just remembering that, wow, what a ride.
Yeah. Now, I like what you said, different fractals of experience, because I do feel, and this is one of the things that Oversouls had said like years ago, that in 2017, actually, when I channeled about a pandemic coming in and all this stuff that started happening in 2020, that there would be the naturalists and the technologists, and those that
Yes.
right manufacture source energy. They try to become source, which guess what, never going to happen. Or the naturalists or organics that are connecting directly as conduits.
Both are happening at the same
Yes, you'll have your choice. Do you want it, like, I can clearly see you and I are naturalists or organics. Not that I love apps and all that. That's great, but I'm very aware that that's not God. That's an aspect or creation coming from. It's a manifestation, a form. It's an idea, a product. It's interesting. Yeah.
But does it need, that's part of the conversation I was having before I jumped on the show, is that the amount of usage and the amount of attention span going into them, they're not inherently negative. They're a technology,
Right.
but there are other things connected to it that are much more ancient, that it's really about the amount of time
Good point.
and the
Good
amount
point.
of energy that we either put into that, or we put into natural living, real relationships.
Wow. Seth, this
Real
is so
experience.
true. Wow. Everyone listen. This is so important because it's not the game. I get, we've been so
The
used to
technology is
playing.
neutral.
Well, yeah, but tell what I'm hearing you say, because we're so used to only focusing on the manifested reality of what we can see. But the bigger game is interstellar, is
It's
interdimensional, is in
correct.
the auric etheric field, the astral field, is, yes. So not giving too much vibration, frequency, energy to that. That's where we need to move away from, maybe, is pull back from that.
Yeah, it's just a pullback. I mean,
Yeah,
even in
pull back.
social media is down 10% because people are realizing it's not filling them up,
Mm-hmm.
and they're realizing the illusion. And
Mm-hmm.
so here we are at such a pinnacle in terms of humanity, with these potential, on one hand, the organic side of telepathy, self-healing, clairvoyance, clairaudience, all the clairs, um, true connection with nature, hearing what plants, using that clairaudience and that clairvoyance to understand what plants are edible or medicinal, and then
Mm-hmm.
this other timeline of major technological advance, but to the detriment of human psyche,
Yeah.
the detriment of the planet in some cases. But again, the technology is neutral. It's just the operators behind them on the physical level and on the quantum level. Because on the quantum level, what I see, we are dealing with stuff I don't even know what to say.
No, I know. You're right. It is. Yeah.
And the collective, I would just say I'm staying around those that are making the choice to stay in the organic timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had since 2000, I think we had about a 12 or 13 year window
Mm-hmm.
to tip the scales for the collective. And now I think it's just surround yourself that have already made the choice
Mm-hmm.
and let your energy and frequency when you're walking down the street or you're walking through an airport awaken up those with similar code.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're at that point. I think it started that we're in that pivot where it's going to get more and more like, to me, it's an organic or natural choice. You'll feel the resonance to move away from that, and of course it's a spectrum. But yeah, I agree with you. As I'm listening to you, it reminds me of a book I read in the 90s. It was an older book. Somebody had referred it to me. It was called The TV Generation. And it was how the synapse actually, which is profound, changed in the brain for creative visualization, the ability to create a visualization and it was talking about all screens, basically, mainly TV and what do you call it? The games. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. What is it called? When they're doing the games.
Like video games?
Yeah, video games.
Okay.
What happened is basically that entity energy that you're talking about, that conglomerate that that can also manifest as a cabal, created basically bean counters or people in the conveyor belt, automated. Because what happens when what the studies showed, that when you're reading, there is a synapses in the brain that develops and strengthens to create images and pictures.
Yes. Imagination.
With the over Yes, imagine. Well, what happens when what they found from the gamers, the video games, and it started really with the video games, but then also obviously computers and stuff. When you're doing that doesn't develop. So you lose your imagination. And that's why it created a group of, I don't know if you want to say kids, whatever, that were good with like fixing things, but not imagining. They're not creating the apps. If you look at everything that we have has been an innovation. Like when people tell me, oh, well, the Gen X and the boomer, they don't know anything. I'm like, hey guys, Steve Jobs, all of them, they're boomers. You guys are just fixing it. You're getting paid a lot of money to fix it or innovate. But if you look, there's not, even with AI, there really isn't new technology created, because these people that came after, raised on video games, they can innovate, but they're not creating. They're not inventing.
Correct.
They're taking what was, and they don't have what that research showed. They don't have the imagination. The synapses didn't. It became atrophied, and then now it's not produced due to the video game, because everything is there spelled out. You don't have to create an imagination of whatever, the guy running down the road, swashbuckling or whatever. It's there.
Right, seeing the story in your head.
Yes. So I don't know. What do you think in that? So what you're sharing with me now, and all of us, I'm like, oh my God, this is like that book, on steroids, stepped up.
Yeah, and I don't think we need to be, and not that you're implying this, but just for any listener out there, we don't need to be afraid. We just need to be aware.
And balance. I think balance is key.
Correct, because
right?
I am a love and light person, but I have been a spiritual warrior for lifetimes, and we cannot have cognitive dissonance with what's going on.
Right.
And unfortunately, sometimes you can't save a burning building. You can only save the people, in it that you can help. And life goes on. And so we are in a major choice point on a daily, on the daily.
Yeah, you
And
keep saying that daily. So what does that
it's
look like?
daily. Yeah, this is not something that's coming. This is not a one major event. That's not how it happens
Yeah.
spiritually. Or yeah, you have your awakenings maybe at major times, but the daily integration, daily embodiment is what really makes it embodied. It really makes you vibrate or not. But it's the daily where you put your time and energy. Now, granted, we have to use our phones, our cell phones, our computers, but we can put time limits on them. I have time limits on everything. And
Me as well. Oh no, I love technology. I
yeah,
love my apps. They help
it's
me
neutral, it's
create. Yeah.
beneficial. Yeah, it
Yeah.
can be beneficial.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not saying it's not bad. People don't need to be afraid,
Great.
but it's kind of like we need to remember and embody some of the times before we had all of it and use it sparingly.
Yeah.
Because the organic timeline that's happening is incredible, but there is a daily choice points for you to choose one or the other. And it's just kind of what it is. I have been trying to understand. We had this major cycle from, again, 2017 to 2022. And then I just seen a lot of people get compromised and the collective get compromised. And indigos and star seeds go after each other. And
Oh
these different
yes.
division tactics.
Yep. The division.
And the truth that I found for myself is to remain my own anchor. Remain my own anchor. Remain anchored in the things that are organic, and to remind myself that nature is always true. We, the world is not going to crap. Society is recalibrating and shifting, but nature is always fine,
I know. That
minus
we
her
had.
floods and things like that. But
Yeah, but
she
it's like
recovers well.
when Dr. Caravan was on, Jude Caravan, and I was saying, okay, it could be me, could be my limitation, my triggering, but it's really bugging me because she's a cosmologist and physicist. I said, it's really bugging me, this whole idea of new Earth. I'm like, Earth has been here. Where it's a society, it's humanity that's, catching, and she said, I agree. We have to find a different term. I don't know. I say new paradigm, but I don't know that what we're creating. Got another question in the chat for you. Let me see. Where were we? Something about how do we do this without being. That's a good point. You kind of go over that without being a hermit. We've touched on it a bit, and you shared a bit on it, but maybe expound on that without being a hermit. How do we move away or stay removed without going full hermit? Which I don't feel you're saying go full hermit, but
No, I've done hermit mode. I've lived off grid for 3 years. It was
okay.
awesome, but I also realized we need each other. We need music. We need to see other people in the restaurant and simple things like that.
Do you think
Uh,
we're doing more of that now? Like this is the time really to, not that it wasn't before, but do you see an additional importance on this? The kind of connecting, I don't know.
oh yes,
Okay.
I think it's just going to be a mix of. I can't even pretend. Like I think it's going to be a mix of hermit mode, but to
Okay.
remember when you come back out to society, to remain yourself without judgment, because that's the other thing. We get awakened, we get all these downloads, these uploads, and whether we're trying to or not, I've always noticed the spiritual community judge those that are still stuck in the matrix. You have to have compassion. That's where I follow Yeshua. Yeshua was not a hermit. He was at times for the downloads and the upgrades. Same with Magdalene. I feel like they were the divine pair, my personal belief. But they would return to society to remind people of their innate gifts if they tuned into them. And I think if I use Yeshua and Magdalene as that template, yeah, you go away to the mountains for a while. You clear, you heal, you upgrade, you get your downloads, you practice your medicine, and then you got to come back. You know, all my greatest mentors, they all wanted to go live in Montana or Colorado and not have to deal with this mess. But they chose to stay near major cities to be accessible, to spread the light and to spread the teachings. And unfortunately, if you're a warrior of light, you, or even just a being of light, maybe you're not a warrior, you're a healer, you got to find your place where people can have access to you or where you can resonate. You can't be afraid and we cannot judge when we return and we're around society. We have to have ultimate compassion and empathy.
So true that you have to live it. What you're saying reminds me, one time I was in India and the ashram, my teacher Guru Mai was saying, listen, anybody can go in the Himalayas and be in the ashram, although ashrams have a lot of gossip, by the way. but she said, she's like, but try to live this in the world. Yeah, it's great to go to the Himalayas, or you go to your cave and it's peace and your namaste, Om Namah Shivaya, and you're doing your mantras and your yoga. But now go and live this everyday living. That's the true embodiment. That's the test. Yeah, and I agree. You know, one of the things that guides had said to me I actually predicted, I guess, twice. I received the information. I didn't really predict it, but about when Trump was getting in, and they said it's as a disruptor, and that this was the one Nostradamus was talking about, and but there would be a lot by this disruptive energy. He's just a form of it. He's not it. It's not about him. He's just a figurehead or conduit for willing or unwilling, whatever. But they said, this was interesting. This ties into what you're saying, Seth, that because I'm like, well, why is this happening in the extreme? Now I don't have any, I'm in the, I don't care. I just don't look at the form, the person who's in. It's bigger than them.
Right.
But they said something interesting that I want to get your take on. And I kind of stopped me in my tracks and I went, I agree. That the issue, why a lot of this, because the light workers, we're not stepping up. We're going in the Himalayas. We're having arguments about whose yoga studio is better. And we're going, I'm going to go to the Himalayas. I don't want to be around them. You eat meat. You don't do yoga. I'm going over here. We're meant to integrate. We're meant to live, like you said, Yeshua, we're meant to live the experience, be the example, not the preachy. Nobody said you came here to preach.
Right.
So it reminds me of what you're saying of this living it more and being less judgmental. And if it's possible, not judgmental, I don't know. I'm not there yet, but living more in that and by example and interacting, interfacing, integrating with everyone.
The easiest thing I have, the simplest example, I guess, having lived in the mountains and the forest for extended periods of time, we need biodiversity. It's actually the way the forest is the most healthy. And we need spiritual
What do you mean
diversity.
by that? When you're saying that, biodiversity, in what context?
We need different minerals in the soil. We need different types of plants. We need different types of trees to put those minerals into the soils. We need different types of species of birds. They have different functions. And so the same thing is, to me, happening spiritually. The roots of the tree all lead to the same place. And that can even be from a religious standpoint. Buddhism, Christianity, Catholicism, you name it. It's all roots of the same tree.
Yep.
And we have the ability to take minerals from each of these religious or spiritual teachings, because they all lead to the same place anyways, and just get the minerals that we need. We disperse our medicine from whatever our root is. We disperse our minerals to help feed the other roots. And that's as simple as it could be. The problem is that ego gets in the way, and a certain roots want to, or have the perspective that they mineralize the whole tree. But you need
Yes.
minerals from all those other roots. And so
Yeah.
we need biodiversity, we need spiritual diversity, we need cultural diversity, because I wouldn't want to just eat American food all the time. I wouldn't want
Yeah.
to eat just Mexican or Italian all the time, or even Ethiopian. The amount of food that we can get is incredible. It opens up your palate. So we need diversity, cultural, spiritual, bio diversity, in order to really experience the range of experiences and magic. So when people are saying one is better than the other, their perspective is blocked a little bit by ego. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even we can't even judge that.
Yeah, that might be part of that diversity. Their wounding, their perception.
Correct.
Yeah. Now, do you feel we're going more into the wave, which I've been calling the third wave, and this third wave that's coming in, that's kind of beyond that, the blowout, the breakthrough? Do you feel that's where we're going? Is that part of what's being co-created?
What do you mean by that, the third wave?
The third wave being what I understand from my guides, and I know there's other interpretations which I just don't believe, because what I know and what I've experienced, just like we update in science, we update in spiritual truths and understanding too. So I know some people have said, like, oh, it's this generation, the new, the Gen A or whatever it is. I don't even remember what it was, Gen Z, whatever. I don't know. There's so many gens. I don't know which one. But all I know is when we're talking about age and generation, or, oh, you're going to have a midlife crisis, all that's ego. All that's ego. That's all mental constructs and beliefs. So this third wave is precisely what you're saying. It's expanded as much as possible beyond judgment, being overly judgmental. It's not in the extremes of the polarity. They're not. It's star seeds and light workers that are, to say it more advanced or more along, whatever term you want to put. So they're not caught in red and blue or the Tories, this, the that, conservative. They're not in that game. It's a different. It's as much as possible on that earth plane.
Yeah, they're not in that paradigm.
Yeah, they're not in that paradigm. Yeah, so that it sounds like that. It's co-creating what I'm kind of likening it to is what you're saying is this less judgmentalness, and this, if that's even a word, and this diversity that's coming in, that's based more on interconnectedness, and obviously individuality or individuating as a soul, but it's to counteract this pitting against. So if you're in this frequency, you're not in that game of protesting and pitting again, and that's needed and necessary, but that is, like you said, that's a vibration, that's a frequency, that's an octave.
I agree.
Right, has its place. I look at it like kind of, lily pads or something, or when you're on a long hike and you take a rest. We need places where people are going to come rest, consolidate, or go to something. That bridging, when all of this is dissipating, dissolving, whatever, getting blown out, whatever's happening to it, as more and more people awaken, I feel there's just a natural moving. In fact, we had a guest on, I can't remember his last name, author, Mick something, but from the UK. And he said, eventually people, it's like, he likened it to like you have an old fairground. You grew up going there, you loved it, you went on the Ferris wheel, but then it's old, it gets rusty, And then he said, and then years later down the road, there's a new fairground. It's got cool stuff and great little restaurants. And he goes, eventually you just kind of, you have memories of the other one, maybe some fondness, but then you start going to the new one. And he goes, I just see people just starting going. And I think that's what we're doing here, if I can say. I think people like you, other people we've connected with, it's like, you can just walk over here. You're not saying the other one's bad or evil, just leave whatever you want to say about it. It is what it is. And you just start kind of walking away. There's a new fairground. There's a new system. There's a new soul playground.
Yeah, and I think intention on what we're creating.
Mm-hmm.
The intention is the foundation,
Mm-hmm.
and my
Like, what is our
intention,
intention? Is it like you're saying that the foundation is what we are intending to do or create, or what?
right? Because we need to understand where. That's. I think we all fixate on where we go. I don't
Wait,
know
say
any.
that again. It wiggled out. Say that again because I caught part of it. And I love what you're saying. What?
I think we're always fixated on where we're going, myself included.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't think that that's a bad thing, because we're looking for an understanding of how we're going to evolve and what
Mm-hmm.
it looks like and feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we do from now is to create, like you said, a safe space, like a new
Mm-hmm.
foundation or a new fairground.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're creating this new, which is really an original system, and
Mm-hmm.
it's based on intent. And that intent is to create a safe space for all beings. That intent is to light up other lights and get them connected to their heart. That intention, foundation, is for ultimately oneness, healthy living, and personal and collective evolution, and enjoying this human experience while we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we keep continuing to create these spaces, then we get relief. Like, people come to your show and you give them a place to land and rest and make them feel less crazy, like they're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that in my space. And I think that that's all we can do for right now, is continue to network. And even
Mm-hmm.
if we're in a disagreement on certain things, I think we need to remember to stay connected, and that we need the lessons from these other people that we may not always agree with. And we need their medicine and their minerals, and they need ours, because ultimately we're trying to transcend past all this division.
Mm. Now, Seth, I love what you're saying, because the transmission, the vibe, the vision I'm getting, like, roll it back so you don't have that stress of what you're creating. It's going to happen organically in the, as the 3I said, contact, connection, communication. Just as we have these spaces to connect, to gather, to network, to share, something comes out of that. That's kind of what I'm getting from you. It's like we don't have to look so far in advance of the system.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah.
Keep creating your own arc, keep creating
Mm-hmm.
your own ship, your own vessel. And there are, we magnetize. We just magnetize. Everybody knows it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really be stressed about the whole ocean of change. Just steer your ship. You'll be magnetized towards others. And we have to go through this energetic shift. And we don't have to remain hermits, but don't forget to go to the mountains for
Yeah.
extended periods of time
Exactly.
and get your medicine
Get your medicine. Now, that kind of
from
just,
nature.
yeah, briefly reminds me, of your book. Follow your
Mhm.
vision, live your truth, because there is this new vision coming in, but it's also very individual. It's not like this
Yes.
one collective vision just gets dropped in, like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, double click the heels, and
The
there's the
hills.
vision. Yeah. So this whole idea of following your vision, how does that tie in to what we're co-creating, and this whole idea of living your truth? Or does it tie in?
I think individually we need to slow down because I run a business, but I also know how to slow down to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm.
I'm either in the mountains for years or back on business, and now I'm trying to balance the two. So I don't have all the answers. I'm just trying to find a new balance.
Mm.
My
The so,
collective vision, or I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, it always seems to be the slowing down, that seems to be so important. Every guest has mentioned this. I don't care where they're coming from.
Hmm.
The slowing down, nature, some kind of meditation, or I like to say attuning or aligning. Um, what is, and you've been saying it a lot, and in fact, you hermited for 3 years, and you're making a regular part of your practice. What do you notice from doing that? What is some of the
All
benefits
my
you're seeing? Hmm.
from being in nature.
Yeah, and how has that helped your vision or following your vision by
Yeah, that's
stepping?
great.
Yeah, right.
Uh, well, my vision came from slowing down, and my vision was a call to go to nature again, but to work on certain spiritual tools and physical tools, like building a
Hmm.
cabin and caretaking the land, which is a human trait to caretake the land, make sure nothing's overgrowing. But the but what the stillness for extended periods of time did for me is it took my awareness beyond myself. It took my awareness from a physical sense to where are the deer? Where's the
Hmm.
bear? What's that coming up the trail? Oh, it feels like a rabbit. Oh, guess what? It is a rabbit. It expanded my awareness, not
Mm.
just on a parallel landscape, but I had to pay attention to what was above me. Oh, there's an owl right there, or there's a eagle over there. And it had to make me pay attention to what's underneath me. Um, but then at night, even in the daytime, but mostly at night, what is that thing running around out there? Oh, that's the natives that once lived on this land. Or what's that
Hmm.
over there? That little red thing. Oh, that's something negative trying to mess with me. Nope, I rebuke you. You got to get up on out of here.
Hmm.
So that extended period of time in nature takes you out of your mind into a larger physical awareness, larger spiritual awareness, and then you're not really stressed about your personal problems
Oh, that's
because
so
you're not in
true.
survival mode, you're in awareness mode.
Yeah.
And so your mind is active in a way that is different. Like active in a natural way that is different from it being active on a screen or being involved in conversation all day or getting tasks done. It's
Mm.
narrow. That's narrow. Being involved in nature for extended periods of time is very expansive.
That's what it's saying. It sounds like expanding your energetic field and therefore also your consciousness. And it sounds like
Yes.
raising the frequency. So you're getting, well, do you find through doing that, you're getting beyond ego in information or insight or
Yeah, I
direction or
do.
guidance? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do. I feel like it's beyond ego. And expanded awareness also means um, real discernment,
Hmm.
discerning what different sounds are, or discerning what different energies are. So with expansion comes discernment, and then comes to me responsibility before I say something because I'm aware of the vibration or the seeds that it might plant.
Mhm. So it's overall expanding. I tend to agree. I spend a lot of time in nature and hiking, and also along the beach, and it's always amazing. There's a couple places I go, and one in particular, and even if I've been like worried or doubting or concerned, it's so amazing. I go on this walk or this hike, and it's like it's gone. I don't even when I get back in my car, I'm like I'm so expanded and at peace. And I've even had friends say, "Oh, you called me. What's going on? Are you worried?" And I'm like, I don't know. Everything's it just went away.
I'm
It's
not
like,
there
where did
anymore.
it go?
Leave a
Yeah, where
message.
did it? Yeah, leave a message. Where did it go? Especially, yeah. So it's very interesting that I do want to touch on. And by the way, everyone, we are talking to Seth Stewart. If you're just joining us now or later in the podcast replays, um, touching on his book, Follow Your Vision, Live Your Truth. I also want to let people know a bit more what you're doing. I think I read somewhere that you're also were working with men or men's groups as well. Was that just
Yes.
something I made? Okay, great. Let's touch on some of the things that you're doing because I'm loving so much what you're sharing. I just yeah, my crown
Yeah.
chakra
So
is
my
buzzing.
thank you. My book came out just a couple months ago. Follow Your Vision, Live Your Truth. Why that's important? Because you find magic, you find a deeper version of yourself, or a higher version of yourself, or both.
Now let
There
me
is a
ask you: in
reality
your book,
beyond.
in your
Uh,
book, sorry to step over, do you go through your journey or some of the
I
things
do.
for people to look for? Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, I go for my journey from certain spiritual things that were happening when I was a kid that I didn't understand to
Hmm.
really very minimal in my career of being in the performing arts, but recognizing energy and energy exchange, to taking the deeper dives, to taking the ayahuasca journeys, the sweat lodges, extended periods of time in the forest, having multidimensional experiences by myself and with others,
Mm.
ET experiences by myself and with others,
Mm.
and um, healing myself, healing the masculine, healing the feminine within me, and kind of bringing it all to an understanding of we are here to evolve, and it's going to take certain things to. I don't want to
Mhm.
give my book away,
Yeah.
but the healing journey. The healing journey is arduous. It's painful and beautiful, and so worth it.
Mm.
And so, yeah, the book just came out a couple months ago. And then what I actually do is I have my business called Performer's Edge, and I help young artists and their parents step into the entertainment field because, again, the stage is a sanctuary to me. We need storytelling. When I sit around
Mhm.
the campfire, storytelling or playing music is what you do. And I believe creating the next generation of great artists who are mentally healthy, spiritually healthy, and I want to help them make more money doing what they love because telling stories is important in our human society, in our humanity. And then I work with men in the healing space. Um, that is my way to fight the loneliness epidemic.
Mhm.
It's to help men
Mhm.
step into higher versions of themselves um, in order to heal their inner child wounds, parent wounds, less toxicity in just the male templates. I'm focused on True Kings Academy, and the reason it's called that is God told me the true kings are supposed to enter the matrix and be in the embodiment of what it means to be a king, which means sitting in your throne, which is in your heart, and having that divinity, that connection to God. When you sit in your heart, when you're connected to God, you operate from a completely different template. And that template
Yeah.
has to return to this planet. That king template is also very aware of the divine template, the divine feminine template, and making sure that the divine feminine is at the table, just like the round table, because we are supposed to co lead together. We're supposed to co-lead for the betterment of humanity and this earth. So I help men through their healing into leadership, and those are the two things I do.
Love it. We need this counterpart to Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson and others. That's all I'm
Hey,
going
I'd
to
love to
say.
get to his level.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, when you coming in with this frequency, it's just, you're a little ahead of your time and right on timing, so I can see that. And I know for me being in that field, what saved me from so many things, like, not that I didn't get sometimes upset or hurt if I didn't get something or people commenting how I looked, but pretty much I didn't, because I had my spirituality, but I saw people that didn't have that inner connection to their higher self.
Mm-hmm.
Other actors and models, just, I mean, not great at all. So that you're bringing this in, because yeah, we need the stories, we need the books, the films, I mean, I'm a big film buff. I love just that
Same.
whole art, the art of coming together. I mean, when you are on whether play, I really didn't do plays, but you're on a set, oh my God, everyone coming together with this shared vision. It's just so inspiring. But you're right, to some degree, that, because it has the old narrative and relating patterns and conditioning, and, so for you bringing this frequency, that to me is so exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah. So needed, but so exciting and that's why Awakenings, because you're awakening that area, that genre, that system, that group.
Yeah, we're awakening to remembering who we are. This is my personal opinion. We're
Mm-hmm.
awakening to who we truly are, which is beautiful, multidimensional beings, and to purpose. And purpose doesn't mean we save the world. Purpose
Yeah.
means we affect positive change, again, personal opinion, for where we are throughout different parts of our life. So I could run away from it all. I did. But I
But you came
understand what
back.
my mentors did. Yeah, come back, affect change where you have respect and help the next generations.
Yeah. That's so important. I'm so inspired to do that. And what you're saying individually, because we talked earlier about that interconnectedness and, vibrationally, energetically, the frequency of, we are affecting change by, as in your book, you're following, your vision and living your truth. That's what
Mhm.
ultimately the universe is going to pick up on. And then, of course, the joining with others. But we do radiate out into that, force field, if you will, or resonant field. So as we are living more our truth, we are, and healing, and, living out this vision, we are affecting that change.
Yes. And one of the things my mentors told me, because I've been dealing with this idea, this potential reality, is that your vision is subject to change depending on what choices you make.
Mm-hmm.
And your truth is subject to change based on the choices you make and your willingness to be open to new truths. So your vision and your truth is subject to change. But as long as you're in your heart and really listening and following it, it tends to lead you to a place of understanding, acceptance, and oneness.
Yeah. Important
It
point.
always leads you on the right path.
Yeah.
Even if you get lost for a little bit, you always come back.
You come
It's just
back.
what
Yeah.
energetically happens.
And I think that's important what you're saying, because as we grow, I know I've seen that in the way that we do our soul's purpose is going to change. We can refine it. We can have more fulfillment. We're going to grow, and we're going to have new awareness or new insights on things,
And I think
that
that's beautiful.
flexibility is so key. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just an open person,
Yeah.
open to learning something new. I
Yeah.
care less about being right and more about learning.
Exactly. One of the things I love sometimes saying is, "Oh God, I was wrong. I was really wrong," or "I did that," because
Hmm.
it's like, wow, that's the soul likes that variety. It's like, yeah, it can be different. You can learn something new. And that's okay. It's
Yes.
actually fun for the soul to go, yeah, I was a little limited in that or restricted. And, or now I'm going to change my mind and do it differently just for the fun of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Yes, I agree. Okay, so we got a couple comments and then we'll scoot on. Who is this saying this? Is this Walter or who? Masculine needs healthy leadership and support of feminine, more attention supporting the feminine energy. I agree. Within themselves as well.
Correct.
Yeah, I'd love it. Now, Seth, how can people, let's say people want to connect with you further or work with you, whether just individually or or is it men's groups that you're doing also, or what's
Yeah,
that
we
look
have
like?
we are done for this year.
Okay.
On my website, iamsethstewart.com. Both of what I do is on there. True Kings Academy is also its own website, so people can stay tuned to the schedule for 2026.
Okay. Is it True
Um,
Kings Academy? That's working with people in the industry,
that
entertainment, artists,
working with
music.
people in the industry is
Mhm.
Performer's Edge. That's on my
Okay.
website, iamsethstewart.com.
Okay.
And working with men specifically um, is on truekingsacademy.com. And we do
Okay.
coursework there, in-person retreats, and I do one-on-ones. My
Great.
focus for the next few years has to be the men. And then
Yeah.
if you are a woman and are looking for help, I have a great network of people. Um, I have women that specifically want to talk to me as a male and have,
Mhm.
constructive conversations or sessions. And I do that as well, if it seems like the right fit. But if women are looking for women's groups, I've been doing this and in and around it for 12, 13 years intensely.
Mm.
So if I
Great. Great.
can't help somebody, I can lead them in the right direction.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we just had that question come in. Okay, we answered it. How can we connect with Seth? So I'm also going to put in the description of this live and also in the podcast. So if you're going to listen to the replay, wherever you listen to your podcasts, you can find out how to connect with him more, or in the description of this live, or go to iamsethstewart.com as well. Oh, just found
Yes.
his website. You found it. Okay, great. Oh, Walter. Hi, Walter. Okay, cool. You found it. Great. Yeah, if you put it in the chat, but I think it's pretty straightforward. I am SethStewart.com. Easy to remember. Seth, I have to say something to you. You're not going to be easy to forget.
Thank you.
I have loved this so much. Come back anytime.
I
I
would
just
love to.
love what you're doing. I love this conversation. I'm probably going to listen to it again. You've just dropped so many amazing downloads and insights. Yeah, I really feel blessed to have connected with you.
Thank you.
It's
Same.
very motivating and inspiring
Easy
what you're
flow.
doing. Yeah, right. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Um, Great. Okay, so till next time, just gosh, keep shining, and we'll connect again.
You as well. Blessings to you. Thank you.
Blessings. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, gang. This was great. Insight and information. Thank you all for being here and sharing, and for calling in and your questions that you put in the chat and your comments and your insights. You guys, I love this. You know how much I love this. And I love, love, love when you guys call in. Anyway, this Friday, we're going to be doing the live, which means I have to get this edited and out so you can hear. Be doing a live stream on YouTube, might tie in Podbean. I don't know. Depends if I can figure out the technology on it. We will have Nelson Marquez and Grace O will be on, musicians, sound healers, working with sound frequency, connecting into 3I-Atlas through sound, music, and tone. Oh, good. You will connect in, Walter. Yay. Feeling like old times, gang, on the old platform that we had from the broadcast software. I'm rolling with it. As Seth said today, don't worry about where you're going. I'm going to try because I'm thinking there's something a better fit than Podbean, but it hasn't shown up yet, other than my own broadcast software and building something out, which I do not have I don't want to denote the time, energy, and bandwidth to right now because I have other things going on. But I am open to any suggestions from any of you, opinions, suggestions, let me know. I think we're somewhere between 1 p.m. I have to look on my text. Zoe, I think that's you, but I think it's going to be 1 p.m. Pacific time. If you subscribe to Awakenings with Michele Meiche podcast on YouTube, you'll get the notification. I just have to re-listen to Grace's audio note because I was getting ready to go live and do the live stream today, so I didn't listen to the whole part of it. I just texted her right away saying, yeah, let's do it, because she has a short window because then she has an event on Friday after, but I think she said like 1 p.m. I'm not sure. So we'll look at that. Yes, trying to set alarms. I'm subscribed. I know, Zoe, you're tuning in from Bali. I love it. Thank you in the chat. Love it, love it, love it. But I'll get more organized with this. I just thought I don't want to overthink. That's kind of how it happens. Sometimes I overthink things. I'm getting my learning lesson to get out of that. That's how we got on Podbean, because Blog Talk Radio was having all these malfunctions. If you guys recall, we had Chris Reck on, and then we had to reschedule a couple times because the broadcast software wasn't working. And I had signed up for Podbean. I'm like, okay, what the hell? Let's just do Podbean. Let's just go live. Let's do the live stream. Da, 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 da. So I have a feeling that's how it's going to happen on YouTube. Also, that just got to do it spontaneously. Just get on there, connect, share, and then we'll figure it out and refine it as we go along. So it's like editing. We can edit stuff. We don't have to. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to get into perfectionism, on this. The main thing is we're just going to. Who's doing lives daily? Maybe you can help me. Okay, I think they're getting more open. Yeah, sometimes I just got to do stuff. Otherwise, I'm trying to do it the right way or professional or make it better, this and that and this. And it's like sometimes you just got to just wing it, do it, figure it out later, or someone comes and helps you to do it better. So anyway, I'm open to that. I'm open to learning. Also, I'm open to your guest suggestions, topic suggestions. Email me awakeningspodcast@gmail.com. You might want to CC also info@soulplayground.life, because sometimes all guest suggestions and topic suggestions go to awakeningspodcast@gmail.com for Sadie to look at. She does guest relations and booking. But the thing is, we get a lot of submissions, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I don't know, she said hundreds a day, 50 a day, hundreds a day, from PR firms and all kinds. So sometimes it takes a while for her to get back or go through all the emails. So that's a way to connect with me, or also comments. I read all comments, whether on Instagram, TikTok, or Soul Insights and Tarot, or Awakenings with Michele Meiche podcast on YouTube. Soul Insights and Tarot is on YouTube. And so, because I love connecting with people. I love the interaction. I love building community and sharing and hearing what you have to say and share. So I'm always in the comments. So if you're in the comment, hey, this is a guest suggestion, this is a topic suggestion, or I like this, or I don't like that, or whatever you want to say, just send it in an email, DM me, or put it in the comments. That's the best way to do it. And also, if you wouldn't mind, I love 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. If you want to leave a positive feedback, that's great. And I'm asking for this because if you don't like something or sound or this or that, then just email me. Don't put it in don't mess up my stars, whatever. And why I ask that is because when we transferred, migrated over to Podbean, now there's 2 podcasts. So all my delicious, loving appreciation comments are on the Awakenings with Michele Michele that was hosted on Blog Talk Radio, it hasn't yet transferred to the live stream or the podcast from the live stream on Podbean. Okay, that's my ask. That's my ask. And I just wish you all so much love and light. Ray, oh, Robert was on. You missed him. Walter. I'll bring him back on, though. Let's see. I don't know if you saw him last time. Let's see. The technology shorts on me. That's funny. Who's saying that? Okay, I think they're getting all more open. The technology. Yeah, sometimes... Well, we've had some glitches. That's one of the things 3I-Atlas said. A lot of these glitches are due to frequency shifts. And I know that from previous frequency shifts and expansion and consciousness and awareness. But we've had a lot with that activation, the solar flares, the comet. There's just been a lot of cosmic, celestial sky, energetics happening. Let's put it that way. Let alone the 45-9 cycle that we're in, the eclipses. There's just been a lot of energy shifting that's been going on for us collectively and individually. Oh, me too. I miss Paulo. Yeah, me too. Oh, so much. Yeah, I thought about him the other day, and I know he would. I know he's floating around with us for sure. We need another light. Yeah, him and his Buddha laugh. You're so true, Zoe. All right, Radiant Lights. I will put in a message to get Robert back on. See what he's got going on. And anybody else, please let me know. And also topics, or you can email me your questions, things that you want me to answer on air. Email them to me. Some of Michele, soulplayground.live, info at soulplayground.live, awakenings podcast at gmail.com. And guest suggestion, what do you want me to answer? And anything else you want to share. Connect with me on the socials. I don't know. Let's just keep connected. Let's just keep this conversation going, gang. Okay. Continue to shine your light, share your insights, and of course, keep away.
I'm getting woke and staying woke. Awakenings broadcasts every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows available on iTunes. For continued awakened conversations and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook. And check out Michele's blog at soulplayground.com. And keep awake.